Okay, I run a beauty technology company. For all of you who know or don't know me, I will keep the conversation very focused on scale up. So presume that Saurav has established that we now have PMF. So let's start with post PMF. If PMF is done, we'll not speak about that. This is how we do it, and there are different ways in which people have adopted different models. You have only three things when you're doing post PMF scale up: acquisition, retention, monetization. Those are the only three things that are relevant. You need to be able to acquire, you need to be able to retain the customers that you acquire, and you need to be able to make money while acquiring a certain number of customers for you to grow at a certain pace. This is what you essentially need to do. At different stages, suppose there's a company which has 20 crores in bank account. Your mix of acquisition, retention, and how much you need to monetize is driven by what your scale ambitions are and how much capital you have at that point in time. A company which has 500 crores will basically attack the same problem differently at a different scale. So the first thing that we would need to do, at least from our perspective, you identify the smallest beachhead that you have, which effectively means it could be a geographical boundary. For example, we took a city. Even though we were an e-commerce platform, and this is very important to understand, even though we were an e-commerce platform that can plug into a logistic layer and try and service anything across India, when we did our post PMF scale up, we went to one city. And within that one city, suppose आपको इंडिया में scale up करने के लिए 500 करोड़ चाहिए, उस city में scale up करने के लिए, proof करने के लिए 1 crore चाहिए. Just a very simple example. That's how you decide whether you can spend 1 crore, 5 crore, 20 crore, depending on how much money you have at that point in time. Now, in that city, you need to prove all the three models. You need to prove acquisition, you need to prove retention, and you need to prove monetization. All three. If they're not proven in that city, there is no way in hell you're going to be able to prove it at India level. Please don't try it. So that's the first fundamental of when we start doing scale up. Now you take the same city, you go back to the problem statement. In our case, the problem statement was as follows. We thought that, and this is 2012, so there's a little bit of context to this. If you are in Bombay or Delhi, and now Ahmedabad, you could walk into a very fancy beauty store, get a very high quality product, high quality service, and also big assortment of products. These three were given, but given only when you were willing to spend 1,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees or 2,000 rupees per product. There were enough brands, enough platforms that were trying to address that 1% market. Now when you take this, and all of us come from cities which are much smaller. So for example, I'm from Bhubaneswar. So if I go back to Bhubaneswar, I see a very stark difference. This is 2012, not today. So the identification was, हमको करना क्या है? We need to ensure that the same level of assortment, same quality, maybe same service if possible, is available at the price point that India wants to consume this at. It was a very simple problem statement. So we went to one of the small cities and said कि ये problem मैं इस city में solve करता हूँ, technology use करके. Let me use technology, but I'm going to solve only in this city. And if I'm able to solve this in this city, hopefully I can find out 50 cities more and scale it. This is exactly how our post PMF scale up happened. Within that city, our identification was, I need to be able to show you, teach you how to use products in our segment. For example, in beauty, 10 years back, there was nothing called a colored eyeliner. There was nothing called a colored mascara or any of those things. Sorry, I'm a guy talking about beauty, please don't. But, so which means that you don't necessarily need to understand the problem yourself without understanding it also. So we went there, we captured the data, and this is where the technology part of our business comes into play. We captured a ton of data starting from what the consumer is, which means hair kya hai, skin kya hai, what color, what base, what are they using, and all of that, which is on the consumer side, which was, I think, about 2 levels deeper than what a typical e-commerce platform would have. We also captured data on the product side. So we basically mapped out globally कितने products हैं आपके पास. उन product को अगर मैं अभी break down करूँगा in different parameters, initial parameters were product, size, price, standard ones. Right? We went deeper into ingredients, formats, into packaging, and all of those kind of things. productize how a product is created. That's what we did when we try and address the market. Now we wanted to push content to you for products that we believed were very, very relevant and were working to that tenet. The tenet being, आपको 1500 रुपए खर्च करने की जरूरत नहीं है, 500 रुपए में वो क्वालिटी मिलती है. It's not an R&D driven market, which was the core insight. It is a question of how much are you paying for the brand and how much are you paying for the quality of product. That's the technical difference which is there. So we tried then looking at that specific city. अब उस specific city में अगर मेरे TG को मेरे को address करना है, this is now I've established TG and all of those kind of things. मेरे TG को address करना है, which is not the top 1%. They consume content or they converse in their language. I think someone talked about it in the last session as well. So all of our content in that consumption center was in that language. For example, if you take Kochi, in Kochi, all of the content that we put out is in Malayalam, 100%. Not a single piece of English content from our perspective. And we do it deep. And deep means just the state of Kerala generates about, I think today, about 50 to 70 million views a month for my platform, which was very, very heavy for one state. And hence you can translate that into, I don't know the Kochi numbers, which is why I can't tell you that. But that's the way we looked at it. So you go deep in one and try to prove whether you are able to make a financial sense out of it, which is the last part of the equation. Acquisition हो रहा है cost में, retention हो रहा है उस structure में, monetization हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. When we proved this, then we extended this saying, okay, now I've done Malayali, let me do Tamil, let me do Telugu, let me do some part of Punjab, let me do other dialects and so on. And as deep as possible in the Bharat portion of the consumer, we went. And that's the way we have looked at post PMF scale up for us.